Welcome back to beautiful Vienna. Skies are staying a tiny bit gray, but the weather's been good to us. We're very happy to be here. Back to the open division. I am, of course, Stef Pazzo, and I am, of course, thrilled to have Benji Reese by my side. His first action of the season. And there's so much more Benji Reese to come this season, but we're excited to have him here right now, more than all those other times coming up. Benji, what do we got in front of us right now?
Back to the open division. We're alternating between open and women's all day, and we are in open pool D for Catchup versus FAB, the Flying Angels of Bern.
Flying Angels of Bern, long-time stronghold in Swiss national competition. Catchup were probably a bit more renowned for their work last year in the mixed division.
Yep, 9th place finish at EUCF last year in the mixed division, as you mentioned.
But this time, not on home turf, but it's in Austria. It's nearby, Graz. And they're bringing a full roster of men.
Yeah, they've got a women's team here as well, so representing in both divisions.
So here come FAB to kick things off. But big shot comes straight away. Metzger is under it, muscles around, a little bit of bump, but not enough to get the D.
I think
enough to get the turnover, though.
Yeah, Hildebrand, I think, just suckered him into going in maybe a little bit early, getting caught underneath it, and while there was contact, I think that was not what necessarily caused the turnover.
Geisel from his own end line. Holmfeister centers, or looks to, but that one gets away. Kehlani can't get there in a very short field for FAB. They open up the scoring. Dominic Christian puts one on the board. Benji, it's 1-0, a hold after a turn.
Yeah, tricky catch there for Kehlani, but I think he'll probably have backed himself to have brought that one in, but it wasn't to be on this occasion. And when you give a team like FAB a field that short, usually you're going to pay the penalty for it, I think.
And this time that indeed is the case. Flying Angels of Bern, they will be the host city of the Elite Invite coming up later this month and will not be taking part of it. It is now a very prestigious event. Even a team as strong and as storied as FAB did not make the cut this time around.
Elite invite is right. Top 8 teams in Europe in the Open and Women's Division. That's it.
It is, I mean, all these events, I mean, the one in front of us right now, we're super stoked on. But wow, the cut of this elite invite is really bringing the cream of the crop of European Ultimate to center stage. The up-and-comers here. Catchup with their first offensive possession of the game as Bobinek moves that disc around. That shot deep. Receiver's got position, but it floats long enough for a crowd, and it bobbles its way through the crowd, bounced around once. I think one little tip at that bench.
Yeah, both sides been more than happy to open things up early, and that one again, they're just airmailing these a little bit, and it allows the crowd of defenders to come through. Actually, there was almost a chance for Dietzer at the back there to pick up some welcome trash.
They are still chatting about this. I mean, when we just saw that last replay, it seemed like everyone went up at the wrong time and missed it. Maybe there was a little bit of contact while going up against one another, but everyone seemed to be a centimeter or two away.
It looks like it's going to be an accepted foul call, so they're going to bring it to the front of the end zone.
And 2 throws later, that one is in for goal. Catchup level the scoreboard at 1 apiece in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, although they did retain possession after the outcome of the call, I still think if you're Catchup, you're thinking that's probably not the best way to execute that deep shot.
No, I would say you're absolutely right there. So we've got Arthur van de Weg wondering about predictions of the tournament. Of course, one of the brother handlers from Gentle.
What is it with Belgian Ultimate and Brothers, by the way?
They've got a fair few up there, doing a number. Of course, the Belgians shone in their home tournament last weekend. The Mooncatchers winning the Open Division, and under 24s ever so close to getting into that final, and I'm sure some people got opinions on the way that one cracked out.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
It was a cracking game. Here come FAB offense. Dorn went back and forth, and now to Mossyman. Metzger comes under. And Jordy. Another gainer. Simon. That one knocked away. And Catchup D-line will have a chance to break.
Yeah, was looking for Kristen, but the throw's a bit offline. He kind of reached out those long arms, and it bounced kind of in and out of the left hand. With the defender right there, that would have been such a tricky catch to take.
So Kleinapple will start off the possession the other way. And a great upline gainer to Heidelbrandt. Kleinapple again. Stall count mounting before the double bicep flex pick is called. Sven Kleinapple engages and goes deep to Kleinapple. The give and big go before the finisher cashes in. And Catchup do get a break early in this game.
I think you can see exactly what the thrower thought of that when it was brought in. The kind of the classic, almost Edvard Munch scream, hands over the face like, I can't believe I got away with that one. But get away with it they did, and Catchup stealing a little bit of an early march here. on the Flying Angels. There we are. It just kind of somehow blazes its way over everyone. And Kleinhappel reads it towards the back of that stack, and then just a simple, just flowing pass to Hofmeister for the score. Good backup there as well. So, okay, we're going to back my teammate to catch it, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm there to catch the follow-up as well.
So the Catchup D-line gets a couple legs refreshed, but stays out there.
Yeah, they've got a 21-strong roster this weekend, do the Austrians. So, yeah, you get a bit more license to rotate players through.
And you expect that in again, it's not an officially hometown, but it's still a home tournament, home country tournament. FAB coming the other way. That under, he was not sure of it, but it does get to Liebzuski. And now the big one comes. The chase is under it. Odermatt, can he make it? Is there enough field? I think the field ran up. He probably would have got a hand squeezed on that, but it trailed out of bounds.
Yeah, it's tricky because, again, you're not just thinking about can I chase this in, as you mentioned. You're aware that the sideline is creeping up on you as well, so you've got to make sure that you can catch it at a point where you can stay in bounds, and Odermatt was just not able to.
And in this case, that's compounded further because one step out of bounds and you're on another field, so you got to be conscious of the interruption,
yeah,
conscious
really
of the potential contact. Here come Catchup from their own end zone line, and that man wearing sunglasses with no sign of sun.
Yeah, interesting that they're from Geisel, who I feel like is a little bit leaner than he was last time I saw him.
Shot deep. This one looks like it could work, but the defense got there. The throw floated just a little bit. The intended receiver, Eisenberger, went up, got a hand to it, but not a clean squeeze on it.
Yeah, big slap coming in from Libashevsky there.
The under comes, Odermatt's there, big ball goes deep, hands to it, bobbled and dropped.
It's that awkward position there for Von Steiger where it's kind of at that height and it's just in front of him enough where he probably feels that he can reach it, and he did get a hand to it, and if he maybe laid out he could have got it, but again it's an awkward height for him to lay out there.
Yeah, it would have been like a fallout almost. I mean, he could have thrown the body, but I don't know if he had the proper step to get a launch with velocity. So Catchup, the sunglassed hero, Geisel. Will bring it into play and has a wide open man. Defenders left, Heinzel. Ditsky goes deep, Geisel's under it. He's got company, but he's got two hands on it. And the second defender came to help, and that meant there was a wide open receiver, but the Catchup played catch up on that D.
He just floated that throw too much, and you can see the frustration, the shake of the head. Maybe got a bit too lackadaisical on the release on that one and just put too much float underneath it. And I think as well the receiver there for Catchup, who's Nicholas Yauk, I think he could probably do a better job of boxing out here. He allows that inside lane, and I think he's probably just not aware of how close Nino Afrini is there.
And yes, he could have done a much better job of boxing out, but that should have been a much better throw.
I agree on both counts.
FAB get a big gainer right out the gates. Libashevsky back to Afrini. And Emercy. in their own end. A nice zipper there, knocks his teammate over. Elmiger goes to ground as he catches that one. And then hand blocked by Geisel. He's got to make up for that throw earlier, and that could do it. Not quite. Yes, indeed it is, Benji.
All that long jump practice coming in handy. That's good vision there from Geisel. He sees the space on this near side of the end zone and just gets the disc out nice and early and sits it there. And then the big long jump coming through into the end zone for the score from Maury, I think.
The long jumping probably coming naturally because they are following their sideline rules and sticking to the rubberized running track. And he's feeling springy and bouncy.
I don't know if that trailing foot is off the ground by the time he catches that.
Benji.
Although I will say that generally, when you look at them, actually, usually it's not. But everyone on the field seemed happy with the resolution, so we're happy with it as well. Here's, by the way, a lovely little drone shot for you of the field site here in Schwechat.
Look at that beautiful stadium. That's where we are, guys. We're in that stadium.
And nice to see the drone is also keeping a safe distance away. I've yet to see a Frisbee hit a drone during a game, but I know it's going to happen sooner or later.
Not on our watch.
Not for us, I hasten to. Yeah. As if we needed to point that out. We're professionals.
Here is FAB. Gets one. Threads the needle a little bit. Now they go deep. Metzger's there. Has room on the sideline, not quite in. Can he get the immediate continuation? Will he go to center? It looks like a centering option. Simon zips one in, just gets it into the clasping hands of the 50s shirt. Weibel secures the goal.
Nice put there from Simon to really kind of open up that possession. I say Simon, I think it might be Simon.
It could be.
With a first name like Jake, I'm gonna go Simon, but as much of a muchness, I think. What I liked about it is that he didn't ask Metzger to do too much. He didn't just whack it as far as he could. He took a little bit off it, so it was like be able to chase down inbounds, and then he's there to provide the centering option to get the disc off the sideline, and with the stack kind of push more towards the center of the field. Again, you create a nice kind of inside lane there where, yeah, he's pivoting out and he's getting a bit low, but he's not getting the real devilish shape on that one. It can be a bit flatter, but still hit that space.
Jake, Simon, potentially Jacques Simon. But I don't think anybody reads J-A-K-E as Jacques. So the FAB pull trailing towards that sideline and out. We're going to bring it in at the brick.
Teams, I think, generally have kind of struggled a little bit to find their range with the pulls today in the stadium.
Bobby Neck to bring that disc in. Wondering where the brick mark might be. And they've come to an agreement. Bobby Neck winds up, rips it. He's got the height mismatch. Geisel's got the step as well, and they do it in one throw.
I think if you're Flying Angels, you might have to adjust for that. I mean, for Catchup, you say, okay, we'll send the big man deep, because in all likelihood, you know, maybe someone drops off to cover that. Then maybe there's a switch. At any rate, it's going to open up the field for us. But if they don't cover it, we'll just put it. And by the way, it's a lot harder to kind of generate a hike like that from that standing start, as opposed to getting in that power position when you've got a bit of motion behind you and a bit of forward momentum. Generating the power from that standstill is more difficult than it looks.
And Geisel, I've commented already on the sunglasses, Benji, but to comment further, he's got these desert-style sunglasses with the leather wrap around the eye socket that like would take away the peripheral. So he's doing all this with a limited peripheral vision.
It looks a little bit like he's trying to go pod racing or something.
Simon moves to Metzger. Sideline action as Simon gets it back. Dorn on the under. And Jordy goes deep with a slicer that gets a beneficial Mac, and then Christensen gets turned inside out.
That is unfortunate, I think I'll call it. A, from Catchup to not D, but again, catch it easy, yada yada yada. I've said it enough times at this point. And then, as you mentioned, it just kind of twists and turns its way around Kristen. He can never quite get a good position to maybe take off for a layout attempt.
Metzger slaps every piece of that one.
Undercooked it, just undercooked it.
Yeah, that is a runny yolk. So undercooked. Fab gets Metzger. Jordy, shot for goal, floaty and in. Weibel secures the goal, and they're back within one.
A slightly uneasy shot for goal there, Steph.
Yes.
Shot for goal.
I'm so happy Benji's back.
Me too. There's nowhere I'd rather be, unless my partner's watching, in which case, obviously, I'd rather be.
Oh, stop it, Benji. You'd rather be here.
No, I think they'd probably rather I be here as well, to be honest.
Yeah, then everybody's happier.
Exactly.
Everyone's in their element, and then when you do reunite, the joy ever flows.
There we are. There's a nice, again, the drone shot of the stadium there. You get the big stand in the background.
That's actually not from space, if you can believe that. It's still in the atmosphere.
I mean, I would fully believe that, yes.
Okay. We're not just looking at a marble-like sphere from
it's actually just
the galaxy.
It's just a model. We found like a little model village down the road, and we just took a camera there. No. It's the live drone footage that is part of ULTI.TV's coverage this year.
Bobinek kicks things off and gets it straight back. Working with Barth behind a lagging handler set.
A lot of communication from this FAB sideline.
It's not just a lagging handler set. They are running a zone. Big bid, but maintained possession. Bobinek, and he goes deep, and he had the separation. It's floating way too much and trailed off. The inside-out throw had too much shape on it.
Yes, again, it's a difficult reception, but I think the receiver can take a better path to that. Just got sucked in towards it and needs to read that disc has the edge on it and is always going to turn towards that far sideline, but got himself in a position where the defender was in the way.
And they're going to try and take all those meters back in one throw, and they're going to fail at that as the interception comes up to the sky and taketh away.
Bart's high pointed that one really well.
Catchup immediately back in the attacking zone. Dietz on his sideline with a mounting stall count before a give-go and a centering pass that goes astray.
Like Bobinek just kind of left that for someone else, but there was no one there.
Fab not shy to shoot deep here, and the 3SB player on the other field gives a little hustle to put it back on the sideline.
One bad turn deserves another?
Maybe even 2 or 3 bad turns deserve their reciprocation.
Yeah, both sides have certainly been huck happy in the opening exchanges of this game.
Woo! Hot left hand there. Eisenberger keeps it alive. Maury. And back to Bobinek. Mounting stall count, and that you could, oh, the foul call here, I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind another look if we're able to get that, but I mean, that's a foul on the thrower for choosing a bad choice there. Like the defense had excellent space, draping coverage.
What is that noise?
Air raid? Hopefully not.
Lightning?
There's a big noise. It was not from the skies. That was a man-made noise.
Has someone got into the someone got into the cabin and has been mucking around with the speakers?
I don't know anybody who would ever do something like that.
He lied, lyingly. Foul is accepted, by the way.
Centers into traffic. Moik back to Bobinek in the middle of the field. Gets Barth. Bobinek, he had a receiver and then goes to him, a throw later. The hammer turns the defense around and they get away with one. Not the prettiest of goals I've ever seen, but it counts.
Yeah, I think the defender there just assumes that the receiver's going to come back into the stack there. He doesn't. He sits in that space. In the end, the hammer means that he gets a chance to look at it. And, okay, look, I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, it's Benji, you know what he's going to say here. But, look at it again from this angle.
What's he going to say? What's he going to say?
The hammer, he sees that. If he throws the thumber over the defender's head, he's never even getting a sight of it.
Benji, a thumber is not a game throw. It's a different grip. You have to set it up intentionally for a one throw only. Oh, I mean, sure, if these players are that nifty, but
you've not seen the video, that video of, it might be like a USAU national semi-final. One of the great Canadian players. Who was the
Mike Grant, the best Canadian player?
It might be Mike Grant, but he just catches it and instantly rips a half-field thumber for a score.
I mean, I think a catch and release thumber is the only place for it. Like greatest kind of style where that's your catching grip. But if you've got to establish your grip for a thumb grip, I think you get a few other throws that'll get there with your more traditional flips. Here's the shot for goal trailing out, and BFT Red Bulls will throw that one back onto our field.
You know what throw would have been good there?
Oh, no.
Anything else.
Okay. Better than what I thought you were going to say. So that one was never in or barely ever in because they're taking about 30-meter walk up.
A nice to see that you're using European measurements there.
Pineapple. It's not easy for me all the time. Hofmeister goes deep and up a bit too early, trying to out-jump the high point of Jordy, and went up too early.
Again, just the defender doing enough to sucker the receiver into getting called underneath it. Not the first time we've seen that happen in this game.
Metzger now with the disc in his own end goes to Dorn. Mossyman and straight back to Dorn. Metzger in the far sideline. Hits the under to Jordy and recenters to Dorn. They've just about reached midfield and then sent it deep. Metzger wide open. That one is on, and that one counts to bring it back to within one. It's 5-4 Benji.
That is it's 5-4 to me. I'm winning. Awesome. That's a much better huck because we've seen generally they've put too much air underneath them, maybe kind of leaning backwards a little bit on the release, and it means that it invites the chance for the pressure to come in from the defenders. You can get sucked into going too early, but this one it's a little bit lower and flatter, and it means that it holds its line a lot better. It's not getting affected by the wind as much, and it's easy gas to chase down in the end for Metzger. Brilliant deep put.
Great analysis as always, Benji. However, I never said it was 5-4 to Benji. I said it's 5-4,
comma,
Benji.
Look,
But if you want to assume you're winning, we'll let you have that.
Apparently, at 12 o'clock every day, the alarms get tested. Every Saturday.
Of course, a thumber is a game throw.
See? The people know the truth.
Oh, let's see. Send me some footage of your last thumber in-game, Baumgartner. I think that's going to be tough to come up with. Show me
any
thumber in-game footage you've got, Baumgartner.
I'll be honest. I think the time when I was actually playing competitive games, they hadn't invented cameras yet. So
yeah, sure. They hadn't invented thumbs yet.
That is also true.
So that's your challenge, Baumgartner. We love your commentary. Thanks for joining us as you were in Tom's. We love seeing you watching and in the comments. But I'm calling you out on this one. Show me those thumbers. Timestamp. A YouTube video. Geisel goes deep. Too deep or no! The layout is made. The afterburners turned on.
Geisel and Moik have been playing with each other for probably the best part of a decade now. And when that went up, I thought, oh, he's overcooked this. But no, actually, Moik just able to turn on the afterburners there, kick up the nitrous oxide, and roast it to the end zone. And in the end, it's not even a full extension layout. It's just more of a knee slide, really. Springsteen style, I think you called it.
You love it. I love it. So does the boss.
Also, something else I liked is that when the disc came in off the brick mark, there was just that little pocket of space in between the poaching defenders at the front of the stack, and Geisel just like, thank you very much, just slipped it in there, and they're off.
And so I'm gonna maintain my communication with Baumgartners. 95 to 2010. That's fine. You can show me anybody's thumber, and I will never take away a scuba. That maintains a standard grip, a forehand grip, and it is a very effective overhead throw to clear past zones and defenders in the lanes.
You sound like someone throwing a chicken wing because a flick requires you to change grip.
That one to Christian, not quite in on the doorstep, and Simon gives him the cut to count the goal.
That's the best we've seen the Flying Angels offense look this game, I think. Certainly they had the depth of the deep shot right. They had players around in there ready to support. They've not always hit their best this game, really, I think, Flying Angels, but that looked more like the Flying Angels of old.
Flying into that end zone, very quick release defense, offense. Low stall counts the whole way through.
Yeah, Catchup still in the box seat at the moment. A couple of breaks up at 6-5.
And explain that for us, Benji. A couple breaks up, but it's only a 1-point difference.
It'll be because Catchup are receiving now, and I actually can't remember who started the game on offense. It feels like a long time ago. Anyway, you see what I mean about the thumber. It's provocative. It gets the people going.
It gets the chat going for sure.
We've seen that before.
We've got folklore now about memory, but we all know if it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen.
True. It famously, if ULTI.TV is not there, it's not a real tournament.
Bobinek with the disc at the midfield mark. And was there a bump or did he time out? He's not moving like it was a timeout. But I thought I saw that hand motion as well.
Yeah, and actually there is the timeout confirmed.
Yep.
Chance to get a breather, Steph?
Yeah, I need to breathe this Viennese air with all the Wieners around here. Let's take a break. Don't go anywhere.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Back from the break. It will be a catch-up disc about 40 centimeters from the midfield mark. Bobbyneck will pick it up, but a little bit of discussion remains with a Mercy. Geisel with his desert goggles getting in on the chat.
Yeah, he does feel like he's just, if you have the thing of like dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Is this like dress for the weather you want, not the weather you have?
Yeah, he's ready for Coachella right now.
Where's Coachella? Is that in California?
Yeah, California, one of those desert modern day festivals where all the woke people say they don't need anything but take everything. Bobbyneck.
Only festival I need is Windmill.
Moik. Tom's was a pretty darn good one too.
I'll give you that.
The under comes in the form of Perker. And he gives it back to Fab.
It was all very stagnant there, wasn't it?
It was a stagnant set. He didn't have much to look at, but even looking central there, he put way too much on that. His shoulder is flung around way too hard to give anyone opportunity. But the opportunities now belong to Odermatt and the Flying Angels of Bern. A Mercy. A Freeney to Odermatt. He drops back to a Mercy. 3 or 4 passes at the midfield mark here. They're not afraid to set up a gainer.
You can see what the Catchup's plan is here. They're sagging off those handlers. They want to stop those easy underpasses and try and make them put it deep where they've got a big man defending. But
Benji, how about that? I thought Geisel was going to catch up and shut that down, but it was just enough in front, and Liebeszewski put on the burners, maintained the pace, and made a huck that seemed like a 50-50. He made it count.
This is the right sort of throw from Odermatt when you're going up against a taller defender. If you put air underneath it, you're really reducing your percentages, if I can get my teeth back in. Whereas lower and flatter, you're saying, okay, rather than turn it into a battle of height, we're going to, maybe we'll turn it into speed, and we've already got maybe a couple of steps there. We can get it out in front and just let him go and chase it instead.
Yeah, that was exactly that. The perfect throw for the situation. Even the big man Geisel couldn't quite get there, had that floated just a second, and he well and truly would have had a sniff at that.
Yeah, the curse of the turnout strikes again. This time Catchup grats the victims.
Catchup trying to stay ahead on the scoreboard. They will receive in the second half, so they are ahead effectively at equal score line. That one shot deep. It looks like it's on. It most certainly is. 25 shirt gets the goal, and they're up 7-6, Benji.
It's a beautifully weighted huck there from Kleinharpel, utilising the full depth of the end zone as well. Don't always think about we just got to score it at the front. You've got that whole section to play with, so you can utilise the depth there. Have a look at it again. Just a little bit of outside-in edge on it to take it over and past the defender there, Lorenz Jordi.
And if the Flying Angels of Bern can hold here, we've got ourselves an exciting situation, Benji.
Maybe our first little cheeky Galaxy point of the weekend.
Galaxy point!
Cheeky little Galaxy point. Hey, don't. We'll see. We'll see.
There's potential. It exists from the first pull, and it has more potential now than it did then.
Nodding sagely, which doesn't quite come across on camera. When we're not on camera, I realise that's not an invitation to go on camera.
So Baumgartner agrees the chicken wing is not a game throw. He's essentially telling me that the thumber is not either, because they're both great catch and release throws. But I'm not going to keep arguing because
just need to get on our level, Steph.
Pardon me?
Just get on our level, Steph.
Metzger gets the under to Jordi. Jordi goes deep, but his receiver doesn't.
I think just as he's releasing it, Vibal's planted to come underneath, and you can see he's just, all he can do is just watch it sail away. David Gray style.
Don't sail away. Or it's come sail away. Come sail away with me.
Catchup are now going to try and sail into the distance and take half. There's a deep shot.
Bobinek goes for a big chunk of yards or meters if you would here, but Lorenz Jordi smacks that into the other field where it will disrupt some play for just a second. Great play to pick it up and fling it away in the midst of their zone on that other field by the 3SB player.
Yeah, he's looking for Breitenthaler, who has a step or two going deep, but the angle's wrong and it takes it too close towards the sideline. Breitenthaler's got a little bit too much to think about, but Jordi, it doesn't matter if he stays in bounds or not, so he can really go and attack it early and put pressure on it.
Simon to Jordi, Dorn gets it in power position, goes deep. Metzger there running out of real estate, but just enough. Finds the back corner. Benji, what's the score?
I think it might be 7-7.
What does that mean?
I think that means we've got a Galaxy point, Stefan. Galaxy point. This is a really good job on the box here. We'll see it on the replay that Metzger's going to be thinking about running out of room, as you mentioned, but he does well to keep Bobinets on the backside, and I wonder if Bobinets is also kind of thinking about, because you see he kind of looks a little bit at the thing, is like, oh, I maybe didn't quite realize how much room there was. Maybe he felt the fact that the turf was kind of beginning to camber towards the edge of the grass, and he was like, oh, I can feel this going away from me a little bit, so maybe I don't have that much room.
Yeah, he had a good old look. He looked a little bit confused about the surroundings and the chalk lines there as he looked up. Maybe they were certainly not happy to have conceded the goal, but had to have a full assessment and kind of work out how that all happened and why he wasn't there. And passing a little bit of blame to the field running out on him, but not as quick as he would have liked it to.
Still a chilly afternoon now, actually, here in Austria.
It is chilly. I put on my second layer, and I'm better off since then.
I'm wearing my very stylish ULTI.TV jacket.
Who makes those?
Thanks to our friends at Force.
Force Ultimate. Been doing a great job outfitting the ULTI.TV crew, and you too can get yourself into some ULTI.TV crew made by Force. Get on their website, check it out, and give an order. Geisel kicking off the Galaxy Point O-line attack. Gets it again. A leading throw in front before he gives to the 27 shirt. Now it's gone deep. It is way too far, and no chance at a layout for Kleinapple.
Yeah, I think he was just giving the signal there just to like cool it down a little bit. We don't need to always push the pace there because he's got two defenders for company as well, and he did the right thing in that he put it in a space where if anyone's going to get that, it's only going to be Kleinapple. But he did overshoot him, and they didn't need to push the pedal to the metal there.
So a break chance at that same Galaxy glory.
And that would bring us back on serve going into the second half.
Odermatt, ooh, he took the finger off the trigger there, but wanted that deep for a second at least.
Nice defensive switch there by Catchup to pick up the deepest receiver there and prevent the big shot going up.
Mossy man goes around to a Mercy. He goes around immediately himself, and Elmiger gets a gainer to Ott. That one shot deep. There is a crowd under there, and it is the smallest man there, Reddit Best, had best position, and the ensuing throw quite possibly could have get knocked away, but it is well read by the last man there, dives into the pile and gets his hands on it.
Yeah, Metzger catching the goal, and we are on serve going into the second half. I'm not entirely sure how, though. This Huck, you can see, gets into position nice and early, and it feels like, oh no, it's going to tail away, and then the edge just continues to pick it up towards this near sideline.
And look at this.
Geisel's hats come off.
Miss. Oh, I'll just fly in out of nowhere, says Metzger, and make that one count. We're back on serve. Galaxy won by the Flying Angels of Bern. And we're going to go into the second half after these guys take a break. We'll be back with second half action. Benji Reese, Stef Pazzo, Flying Angels, Catchup, and you at home sticking with us all the while. See you very soon.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTI.net.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Those who do not know their history can never relive it. The skies, the dives, the sideline smiles. Our past is held in photo albums, drinking stories. The present is a gift. And here at ULTI.TV, we want to make sure we always appreciate it, capturing the immortal moments of Ultimate from around the world and making sure everyone can enjoy them for free, forever. Because the future belongs to all of us.
Back after the half on serve, back and forth. We've had it all. Some discussion about the validity of thumbers and chicken wings. What more could you ask for? Maybe a Vienna Schnitzel. Catchup looking at a zone deployed by FAB Bobinek.
Cheeky unintentional woosion from you there, Steph.
Yes, I was wooging. Unintentional woosion. Unintuition. Eisenberger goes to Bobinek. He looks for the break and gets it one throw later, and oof, that throw behind the intended receiver. Not entirely happy with the release was Perker, but it did count for a goal.
Catchup putting in their first low point of the second half. They were in a really good position for much of the first half. A couple of breaks up as well, and slowly but surely Flying Angels clawed their way back into it to take us on serve into the second. It's the second time we've seen FAB this year. They were at the Elite. They're hosting the Elite Invite. They were at the Spring Invite in Padova a couple of weeks ago. Finished 12th of 16, 2-4 record. A victory in the pool over forward, 13-10. Losses to Red Bulls, 13-9. 3SB, 15-9. They beat Cani Porci, 15-7 in the bottom 8 brackets, and then a 13-12 loss to bitter rivals Frisbee, and an 8-7 loss to one of the hosts of this event, the Big Easy.
Of course, one of their stalwarts, Vindlar, who we affectionately refer to as Wilder.
Do we?
Is out. We do. We in fact discussed his nickname before the game. I had a little chat with him, and he said, "Oh yeah, you can call me Wilder. I like it."
But he's on the shelf at the moment.
On the shelf, hamstring issue. He said he played the first game. He's also coaching the Swiss national team in the women's division. So doing a little bit of resting, load management, as they say in the NBA.
And with a hamstring, the last thing you want to do is just push it too much, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Absolutely. You need to just mind that. And that one goes deep. Metzger on the chase. Metzger, Johnny on the spot, finds his way under it. And the two snowmen on the board disappear as one turns to a 9.
Yeah, I was going to say it melts, but I don't think you quite melt from the bottom. I don't think that's quite how physics works. Have a look at it on the replay here. Just the turn. Dawn's got a little bit of space here to step into this one, and there's good field awareness here from Metzger, because he knows that he's close to the sideline, but not quite so close that he has to do the ridiculous acrobatics. He can just chop his feet slightly and make sure he stays in bounds and catch the score.
Getting some sideline chanting. Crowd getting noisy.
It's one of the things that you don't quite get watching at home, is it? As much as I've enjoyed watching ULTI.TV's coverage of the first few events of the season, there's nothing like being at a tournament, you know, hearing that buzz, that hubbub, you know, all the chants on the sidelines, the huddles breaking. Like, there's nothing quite like being at a tournament, but if you can't be here, watching it on ULTI.TV is the next best thing.
And that's why we're telling you all about these little details. Bringing it back to you at home, conveying the on-field action, the sideline action, the environment, the atmosphere, a little bit of everything. We want you at home to feel what it's like in our seats, because, quite frankly, we've got the best seats in the house.
Yeah, we do. We've even got a little riser platform.
Risers, we can see about, like, guys all can walk in front of us and we can still see over top of them.
I don't know about that much.
All right, fine. Anybody but the Giant. Now they've shot deep, wide open, but floaty as can be. Defense will have a chance to catch up, and do.
That was absolutely ripped out of the sky by Elmiger. But Moik, as soon as he threw it, he kind of stamped the ground in frustration, because he knew, again, not for the first time this game, it's a hug that just hung way too long.
Bobinek cashes in, and that one's going to count into the hands of Dietz.
I think there might be a discussion here.
There is people on the sideline indicating what they thought. Not surprisingly, goal indicated by black shirts, out indicated by a couple of white shirts.
Let's have a look on the replay. Oh.
Ooh.
I think the left foot comes down first.
Me too, but that.
I tell you what, he could have been certainly a bit more demonstrative with it, couldn't he?
You betcha.
I think the goal standing's the right result there from what I could see. 9 apiece, that makes it now. Again, Catchup, more dicey than it needed to be. They had the wide open deep look, but they popped the throw up too much again there, going for that offhand to try and find the space, and again makes it a little bit more iffy than they wanted.
So there is also some secretive national level ultimate going on right now.
Are you sure? Because we're not there filming it.
Oh yeah, if it's not on ULTI.TV, it didn't happen. Well, unfortunately in this case, I believe they want the rest of the world to understand that it didn't happen. I think scouting is something that they don't want to see, but there's some of the national teams prepping for the EUC are hitting it out in Germany right now.
Maybe 4 of the most likely semi-finalists potentially. I think probably 4 of. If it's not going to be those 4, then you're probably looking at 3 at worst.
3 at worst.
France, Ireland, Germany, and Great Britain.
Yes, some solid hitouts for those 4 squads. They already had a leg up based on their selections, and will probably get another leg up based on this sharpening stone tournament they're into over there. So Christian comes underneath, midfield mark. Gets Dorn. Far sideline, Simon goes up line and gets a nice gainer. Power position, led to the end zone. Jordy's closed the hands on it. That's a goal for the Flying Angels, who open up their first gap lead of the game.
I think that's 10-9. I just don't think the last point went on the board.
Never mind, no gap lead.
What you saw there was like Meister. He's just kind of groping for it a couple of times, like, yes, no, one of those agonizing ones where you think you can reach it and you just reach out a hand, but it's not quite there to intercept, and all you can do is watch the receiver just look at it all the way into the breadbasket. So having fought their way, into the lead on Galaxy Point, on serve so far in the second half, and we've got about 15 minutes left until the cap comes on, so there's still plenty of time for another twist or 2 in this game.
Cracking affair here. Lets that one land and plays it off the ground. Gets Bobinek on the under. He zips it, but that is trailing away. It will still be caught.
That's a good read, that one by Moik.
Moik goes backwards to Barth. Centering now. Bobinek controlling a vast majority of touches here for Catchup. Moik.
Oh, he sold the defender all the way down the river on that fake, didn't he? Just
breaking ankles.
A little pump action, and took a huge monster munch out of it on the force.
There's to Bobinek, and Moik cleans up the overthrow, or perhaps the intended receiver, and Bobinek was in the way.
Not for me, Steph. That's absolutely an overthrow, but it's good heads-up play there from Florian Moik.
Here's the fake I think we're going to see.
No, I think this is... Yes, no. There's the hammer. Oh, he's overcooked it. Yeah, he definitely gets his hands underneath that. That's a good clean catch, that.
And here is more of our drone footage, of course, bringing you everything we can. This time, this drone footage brought to you by Ioka Energy Drink. Good mood drink. Get your hands on some of that. Brighten up your day, brighten up your life. Get creative.
Is that
feel
is that the translation of what the can says?
That's my translation. Inspire the moment. Get creative. Feel Ayoka.
made in Austria.
I think made right here in the stadium. Jordy goes deep for Metzger. He's got a line on it. He's got some hands on it. He's not in the end zone. Looking for the continuation. Goes to Christian, but that floats too much. Almost a second effort, but the throw let down Metzger.
I think part of the reason that generally FAB's offense has improved as the game's gone on is because the range has got a lot better with those hucks. They're not popping them out as much. They're going lower and flatter. And that time they connected with the huck, but just didn't get the continuation. That one, I think when you get two hands to it, as Hofmeister did, he probably feels he should have had that.
Yeah, most certainly. That one was on the mark, hit the man in two hands. Dorn goes inside to Simon. Simon wound up and put it away. Now back to Dorn. He gets a nice slow release backhand to Mossyman. Mossyman centers to Dorn. Dorn's jacked it now and it's floating. Metzger is still going to be there though and read it best and cashed it in. Great route running by Metzger.
Yep, this is when they have kind of, the throws have been popped up a little bit more or they've taken slightly weird edges. Metzger, of all the players on the field, has shown that they've spent the most time in the library, I guess you'd say, because he's consistently read the disc better than pretty much everyone else, I think.
He's a reader. He's got his library card and working out the Dewey Decimal System, knowing where to be and how to reference.
You much of a reader anymore, Steph?
Yeah, now I am. Certainly, as a kid, I only read if it was a necessity for school. And at some stage that switched, and now I eat my books up as much as possible. I get into, as much as possible.
I'm like the opposite. I was a voracious reader as a kid, and I kind of, I struggle to retain focus anymore. Although I am currently very much enjoying Inverting the Pyramid, which is a book about the history of football tactics.
Football tactics. Benji, you're going to have to tell us a bit more about the football, because we know you are involved in that sport very much. Some of you North Americans may know it as soccer, but come on, we all know it's football.
Or in Austria, Fußball.
Fußball. Well, we'll hear more about Benji's football endeavors after this huck anyways. Bobinek gets under it and, yes, shakes it around, says, hey, you looking for this? Fakes the slap spike, and they are in for a goal. 4 ones on the board.
That is a beauty of a put there from Jonas Barth. You can see it again, just gets the right edge on it this time, a little bit of outside in, blading back into the receiver, and I think Kilko just kind of wasn't quite aware that that disc was going up, and then, as you mentioned, just going to fake the slap spike and hold it in his grasp. 11 apiece once more, so we get the good mood drone cam back up again and running.
Good mood drone cam, good mood drone. Okay, I'll stop that. We'll just leave it with the good mood drone cam.
Thanks to our friends at Ioka for that one.
Thanks to our friends at Ioka. Who would want anything more than that? So Benji, what is it with the football that you occupy your time?
But it's part of the reason why I haven't been actually, well, I say part of the reason, pretty much the reason why I haven't been at anything so far yet this season was because we're kind of wrapping up the end of football season. We're nearly there. The non-league football team I work with, AFC Tottenham, crowned champions in the Southern League Division 1 South this year. So we're going up to step 7 of English football.
Step 7. And of course, Benji's work with them is in the same professional manner that we get to benefit from here at ULTI.TV, but Benji on the mic, providing the commentary.
It's really weird. Switching from football, which is kind of not a real sport, to ultimate, which absolutely is, and B, going from 1, maybe 2 games a week to 8 games a day. It's nothing like getting thrown back in the deep end. And I must admit, actually, I've really missed it.
Yeah, small difference there, huh? Well, we're very happy to have you back, and very happy that you get to continue to evolve in the dual sport. And surely it's only making you greater and better. And I know everybody back home agrees with that much.
Pick called on the field. They should. I tell you what, they should bring hand signals into referees in football. That would clear things up a little bit.
Yeah. Self-officiating. Would love to see.
I just cannot imagine soccer being self-officiated at this point.
Same with American professional sports, but I really think it would just be better. People see it as a regression, but it is a progression, people. Metzger. Dorn slips while he was engaged, but Jordy gives a cut. Jordy fakes the big. Metzger wide open in the dump space and swings to Mossiman with some yards gained. Too far in front for Simon, and Geisel and the Coachella goggles snaffle that one up.
Travel, maybe? He looks more like he's ready for the Paris-Dakar rally than Vienna Spring Break.
There he goes. That one to Kelani.
Oh, the devastating spin move on the cut.
Geisel gets and gives to Hildebrandt.
That's the 5 minutes till cap noise you might have heard in the background there, by the way.
Hammer, which is a blammer, and Jordy got in the way just enough to make it too difficult to catch, and the bounce almost given a second chance.
Agonizing for Kleinhappel.
Metzger to Jordy, right in the breadbasket that time. And they're in for a goal and maintain their lead and keep the game on serve.
I mean, if you can't catch him, you may as well throw him. He just saw that window, the center of the field opened up, right down, I was going to say right down Main Street, but we're in Austria. Right down Main Strasse, into the arms of Jordy for the score.
Strasser or
Strasse.
Strat?
Strasse Street, I think.
I thought it was Strat, but I'll take your word for it. Mine is based on just a couple of signs I read the other day and assumption. But you know what they say when you assume, Benji.
Yeah, I do know what they say when you make assumptions. You make an ass out of you and assumptions. 12-11 Flying Angels lead.
And an airplane in the sky.
Yeah, we are very close to Vienna Airport here.
Lots of people coming into the Austrian capital to get their hands on some schnitzels. Some Sachertorte, rather. And to watch and play some ultimate. Jauk goes backwards. And Barth then gets some yards gained. Bobinek gives the left hand a squeeze and finds the disc in it. The around floats, but not too much, and it's collected by Catchup for a goal.
Again, I thought Kleinhappel maybe just got a bit casual on the release of that, put it higher and a bit floatier than he wanted to, but there was so much separation that in the end didn't come back to bite them.
Even an imperfect throw can count for a goal in that sense. Enough separation, reliable receiver.
You can see there on that angle that the cut develops all the way from the far side of the field, and if when that individual cut is covering so much ground, I think as a defence you can be a bit more communicative there and say, that guy's got the beating of me, we can have a switch there, I can cover someone else, maybe we can be a bit more efficient. You're having a little look around the grounds as well. A lot of teams are electing to camp this weekend here on site. We're fortunate to be staying with the lovely Christina
Obermeyer,
yeah,
who will be back in the booth very shortly for our next round, going back into the women's division.
We are indeed 3S. No, that's the previous one. We have Chicas versus Troubles. It is from women's pool B.
Looking forward to that, but not before we get through this one. All tied up at 12. Anybody's game nearing the dying minutes here.
Yeah, about pretty much a minute bang on until the cap goes off.
Simon drops backwards to Mossyman. He gets Metzger. Wound up, put it away. Mossyman distributes to Jordy. Jordy's gone big. Christian there. Geisel tries to make a play. Goes through the back of the knees, but Metzger now all alone for the goal. Sensational put there. Great reception, even under the duress of that defense, Benji.
Yeah, you could see Geisel, he saw the opportunity to switch in there and see if he could lay out in front and get the block. And here it is on the replay. Takes the underpath, doesn't quite do it, and as he does so, actually it's really good avoiding action there by Christian because he feels that Geisel's there, and Geisel tries to just take the sting out of it with the roll, but he's out of position there. There's no force really to just throw that across the end zone comfortably into Metzger's arms to add to his burgeoning stat total for this game. And there is the signal that cap is on, so we will finish this point. So it's going to be 14-12 game to 15 or 13-all, and we got ourselves some sudden death game to 40.
Well, I know who I want to score just based on those two potential outcomes.
I mean, to be fair, even if it was 14-12 game to 15, nothing stopping it being 14-all in the end.
True.
But on serve in this second half, no side's been able to break yet since the interval.
The immediacy of the double game point, the universe situation, is just that much more succulent because of its certainty.
How crazy is it that we've had no breaks in the second half?
Yeah, tidied things up after a very back and forth first half, couple runs, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of everything in the first half, and then just tidied right up, especially as far as the scoring's concerned. There's been turns, but never breaks, never enough to cash in on those turns.
Yeah, the turns have been fewer, and it does feel like the offense just has been more consistent. There's been fewer kind of strange throwaways or drops.
Tidied up, very much so in the second half. Barth gets the under to Kleinapple. He goes deep. Bobby Neck is there. We are going to Universe Point. 13 apiece, game to 14.
Again, Bobinets is starting that cut really deep, and this time he has two defenders with him, but he's just eating up the ground in front of him with those long strides. And you can see already there in the picture, he's storming through it. And despite the attentions of two defenders, they just can't keep up with him. We've got ourselves a Universe Point, Steph. First of the weekend.
What was the score before half here?
They were a couple of points up at one point.
But did we get to 7-7?
Yeah, we did get a Galaxy point as well.
Is this a Galaxy Universe double insanity game?
It's nice. It's good to be back, Steph. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. So the first time of asking, the practice for Universe was Galaxy. And who got the win there, Benj?
It was a break for Flying Angels, I believe.
It was a break for Flying Angels to put them back on serve. But they did score one way or the other. And yes, a break. They had to get a D to score. In the practice for Universe, for the warm-up, for the little Universe. This is the big Universe. Lines called to fit the scenario. 26 points played. Only this one matters. Here come FAB.
What a time for the best pull of the game, by the way. Starting burn right at the back of their own end zone.
Jordy with the disc. Centering to Mossyman. Surveying options with a mounting stall count now. Goes around to Simon. playing in their own end here. Gets a short gainer to Jordy. Mossy man goes up line and then comes back. Now he's gone deep. Metzger's there. He's got space. Is he going to make it in? Not quite. Continuation is there to Christian, and FAB take the win in a cracking affair here in Vienna.
That's a proper game, that is, and really I think what you saw there was a little bit, a pretty good summing up of the game itself, that Flying Angels, they got their deep game going, and Metzger was a huge reason why, if he wasn't throwing them, he was reeling them in, and he did there, just chased it down. A much better, low, flatter deep look. Metzger's onto it, and there's no am I in, am I not? He knows, let's go, let's keep the pressure on. Instantly out of the hands, finds Kristen, and that is game. What a game as well.
What a game. It's time for Benji Reese to take a little break. We're happy to have him back. We put him in a headlock and locked him in the booth for 4 games in a row. He's going to take a break. Christina's going to join me for our next match. Stay with us. We will be back in no time. Thank you for all your support, and see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.